So, one of the things that I always say is there is no key to success. I see this a lot. Like the key to success is this. There is no key. It is a combination lock. And once we understand that some people need to go all the way to 30 in one area where others just need to go to 2,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's why it's a combination lock. Success is that, and that's what I work on for people. I can see that so clearly and be able to help you understand it.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with the Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona, and I got a guest today that does high-end serving. What does that mean? Well, takes those people that are super successful and knows how to serve them. And a lot of you out there go, why would I listen? Because you're going to be there someday.
Yeah.
And she's going to teach you we're going to talk about architecting, if that's the right word. Before we start, here's our gratitude. You have something unique to offer. Never forget how special you are. I can't believe this card just hits our guest because she's so unique, so loving, and such a big servant's heart. Let's bring her on. Lady Jen Du Plessis, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
I love your name. That's why I said I know you should say the full name. It's just beautiful.
Oh, Du Plessis.
Du Plessis. See, I even messed it up, but that's okay. I'm going to admit that. She corrected me wonderfully. Architect. Okay. Talk about that and how that built your business.
Yeah, well, so my degree, well, first of all, I was pre-med and I was going to be a cardiologist. I had done all the work through high school to do that. And then you know how you have that one class where that one professor just taints your image of everything, something, right? And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it. And he just turned me off to some stuff. And it wasn't what I was going to do. It was just the way he described it. And the great thing about being a cardiologist is its process and procedure, right? It is a process that you go through. And I thought, well, what else could I do that, fills my brain because I have a really high IQ and I would be bored. And I thought, well, engineering. So there was a course about that. And so ultimately my degrees is construction or architectural design and construction engineering from Colorado State University. And, I feel like I've always architected and constructed my life, from way back from when I was called Jenny who ain't got a penny. And I spent my life proving that I wasn't that until I decided I was going to live. And so it was a different architecture and a different construction that I was doing. And now I'm at the point where I can help others architect, design, customize, construct, renovate their businesses when they're very successful on paper, but there's something missing personally. They don't have their life. They can't spend time with their kids. They can't let go to grow. And so now that it just, I love that customization that I do. And that's why you'll never find anything on my website about a course, because it's what do you need? What can I provide to you that will serve that need? And because I'm a master mind mapper, right, I'm able to discern that what you think you need may not be what you really need. And so, it's that whole want need. This is what I want, and this is what you really need.
Yeah. 30,000 foot view is what you do too. What I'm hearing is you look up here and go, hey, Steve, yeah, I see all this, but how about this? And that's where the customization, because mine's different than Joe Smith and Debbie Johnson.
Oh, yeah, the DNA is totally different, right? And so, one of the things that I always say is there is no key to success. I see this a lot. Like the key to success is this. There is no key. It is a combination lock. And once we understand that some people need to go all the way to 30 in one area where others just need to go to 2, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it's a combination lock. Success is that, and that's what I work on for people. I can see that so clearly and be able to help you understand it. It's like a doctor too, because you come in with the symptoms. I need more leads. Really what you need is the change in your messaging, right? So helping people figure that out. Yeah.
Well, you're a beautiful woman in
you.
business. And I'm going to tell you why, because we need this more than anything. Because I talk to mentor entrepreneurs, at the lower level, they're going on TikTok, going on Instagram, going, I'm going to follow Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
or Grant Cardone, and nothing wrong with
Yeah.
them. That's it. Just they would say, "I listen to Grant Cardone. I'm going to go all his things and become Grant Cardone." You're saying
Yeah.
no, don't do that.
Right. I totally say no, don't do that. I believe in modeling and
Yeah.
modifying, right? Model the things you like that they do. You know, with Grant, I've been in his programs. I've actually invested with Grant. I prefer Elena, and not because she's a woman. I just prefer her style. So, but I do quote Grant, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. But with Elena, I love to model the way she holds herself and the way she speaks. Now, I don't, and I modify because she's a little brash in her speaking, and I'm not. So I've modeled that and said, okay, she has that power. And then I'll modify it to fit and align with what I do. Because we don't, you know, I have a little plaque that's behind me that says, be yourself, everybody else is taken. You don't want to grow up to be Grant. You don't want to grow up to be Oprah. You don't want to grow up to be any of those. You want to grow up to be yourself. And yeah, so I just feel that listening, if you know, have you ever heard the phrase file the phrase I had too many F's going on in my mouth there. Don't edit this, by the way, because I love this. This is just,
No,
you know,
no
talking,
editing.
right? We're totally talking, but follow the pile of money, right? Instead of a little bit of money is being spent on this $97 program and a little bit over here on this 35, and then I'll do that 25 thing, but then I won't do it. And I've got a 197. And so we've all had this, right? Those of you that are listening, right? We've all had the tabs. I still have them, the tabs on my computer of all the courses I took and nothing that I got into, right? And so if we just follow the pile of money and spend and reallocate our funds to finding a coach, a mentor, a consultant, whatever you want to call everybody, that will help you with decision making, right? Decision making, has gone down that path and knows where the pitfalls are and the great times and the resting spots, and knows all of that. You're going to be so much better off in the long run. And that's why I've stopped doing all the little things. They look really cool, but the sequencing can be off too. You know, taking on something that you're not prepared for, like podcasting. That's, you know, one of the big things I'm focused on right now, as you know, is just cease and desist on, you got to be on podcasts to get exposure and influence and all that. And that's just the beginning. If you're not creating a revenue stream, why are you doing it?
Yeah, it's not, you're not saying no, just the system.
Hold
the
on, let's
sequence of it.
learn. Yeah, let's
Yes.
learn and step back and create a revenue stream for this, as opposed to just being fun. Not to say, I was on a podcast yesterday called 62. Who knew? Right? Because I'm 62. Right? And I just wanted to be on it because it sounded fun.
Yeah.
That's okay. But not all of them can be that way.
Yeah, and you're successful. It's not like it's the struggling entrepreneur that's jumping on a podcast and they're still struggling after 100 podcasts. I just had a guy reach out, go, I've got nothing from these podcasts. Well, they didn't take content. You know, we won't get into that. That's what
Did
you do
you
in your
design it? Did you plan to make money from it? Right. There's
exactly.
ROI and there's ROI, right? There's ROI, return on influence or impact. And then there's the ROI of return on income or investment, right? Either way. And so if we combine them, it's so much better. We can't just go out there and hope and pray. I call it show up, throw up, and hope up. Yeah. That something will come from your guesting on a podcast.
So kind of taking your engineering background, ROI plus ROI equals dollar signs. Not Absolutely. ROI minus ROI equals no dollar signs.
That's
with
exactly
the line through it. And
yeah, equals negative ROI. Right?
Negative ROI. There we go. See, engineer corrected me. I love it. And I love the mentors, because a lot of mentors are successful people like you have all had mentors. I know Cuban, I've heard him talk about his mentor. But Warren Buffett has talked about his, you know, he's 90 years old. Yeah,
absolutely. We have mentors.
And I follow Gary Vaynerchuk, and I learned from him. He swears a lot. I don't like to swear.
Right. That's what I don't like about Elena. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. So we're modeling, but modifying. We're not going to jump on and F-bombs, S-bombs, and we're just doing it a different way. This is very cool. What do you think leadership is missing with very successful people?
Oh, that's really easy. It's so easy for me. So I subscribe to, or not subscribe, but the method or the way that I coach people or consult people, I consider myself a consultant at that higher level, is sovereign leadership. We're lacking in sovereign leadership. So let me explain that. The sovereign leadership for me is that we are wielding a sword all day long and we're battling all day long. And we may win that one battle, but we're still burnt out. We're still exhausted. We're still tired. We're still injured to go do it tomorrow too. And it's just I can throw out a bunch of things. It's the mechanics of the business. It's being on demand and not in demand, right? Being everyone's beck and call girl or guy, that when someone calls, we jump, right? And so we're just fighting all these battles and doing the activities. The other side of that is carrying a scepter, stepping back. It's your kingdom, for God's sakes, right? As a ruler of your kingdom, you want your subjects, AKA your employees and your clients, to honor you, to be loyal to you. And that if you don't give them the opportunity to do that because you're fighting alongside with them constantly, then no one's growing. The whole kingdom might survive. We'll find out tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And sovereign leadership is giving yourself that grace and that fortitude to step back and look at what you want to accomplish in that kingdom or in your practice, right? I don't like saying business because practice elevates you. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. In your practice.
Absolutely.
Right. I have a saying, don't work smarter, work harder, right? We all know this, right? Don't work smarter, work harder. I don't like either. I say, don't work smarter, don't work harder, work higher. Right, higher. So that's going to that 10,000 or 20,000 square foot. Sorry, I was in the mortgage business and I own a lot of real estate. So I say square feet, 1,000 foot, that 10,000 foot view where you can assess what needs modification, what needs change, etc. And part of being that sovereign leader and having the scepter is increasing your EQ. In wielding the sword, it's all about your IQ. Yeah. It's like how smart I am. I got to make these decisions, good or bad. I wake up in the middle of the night. I don't know what's going on. We have all these battles going on. When you're in the scepter piece of this, right, to create sovereign leadership, you're analyzing strategies. You're looking at where the weaknesses are, the SWOT analysis, right? You're looking at all of those pieces. Where are the gaps in my business? Where does my business stand now? My practice business, where does it stand now? Am I in formulation, concentration, momentum, or stability? And what pieces of my business are in each of those? Because you may have a very successful, stable business, but AI is in formulation, right? Or social media, because now you're jumping to it. And the incumbents, those who don't jump on because they're resting on their laurels, right? They're incumbent. Yeah. When they're resting on their laurels and they don't do something called AQ, which is agility quotient, which is huge right now, the ability to be agile, right? To move and all of that. If you don't do that sooner than later, then you'll be behind the 8 ball and perhaps not even have a business.
An 8 ball. Young people, look it up. You'll know what it is. Me and Jen are on the same age. You're an 8 ball.
You'll be behind other businesses in the marketplace.
Yeah. I love sovereign leadership. When I first met you, it really caught my eye, and I've developed it in my leadership style. And audience will get her information. You can reach out or learn more about her. But what do you talk to when you talk to a successful business owner and they lose a battle? How do you help them handle that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's an assessment, right? So we're slowing down so we can speed up instead of speeding up to slow down. And so often when there is a battle loss, it's wanting it now. We're not stepping back, carrying the scepter and negotiating. We're not stepping back and using our EQ, our emotional quotient, to think about all the ifs and buts or ors that happen with it. So first thing we do is assess why did this happen? Was it too fast? Was it too much? Was it excitement? Was it shiny object syndrome? Did you lack a skill, a soft skill that perpetuated this situation, right? Like let's say you hired someone and they are bad. They're really bad. They really bad, or are your soft skills, are they too soft that they didn't recognize that this person was a great interviewer but not a great employee, for example? Or were your soft skills not soft and weren't strong enough, right? That you helped them through situational leadership or generational leadership. So is it us or is it really them? Because most of the time, it's us.
Yeah.
It was the bad hire, the bad onboarding, the bad training, not speaking to them and finding out what their goals and dreams are, so your vision could facilitate that. There's lots of layers in that, but we assess, how did it happen? Was it fast? Was it slow? Are you lacking skills? Were you lacking resources? Why did that fall apart? You didn't stay long enough in formulation? Did you stay too long in concentration without tracking because it just was fun? Right?
Yeah.
And so I wish I could answer, I just had a workshop last week and I finally went out and did this. 20 years ago, I've been talking about doing this. Finally went out and bought a box of Depends. And I just had it on the table in front of the room. And I said, what do you think my answer is? Right? It was like, it depends. Every business is different. Right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's great because we're going to have battles and we're going to lose battles. Just nature of being an entrepreneur, business owner.
Yeah.
So EQ is, EQ, AQ, and IQ.
Yeah.
Are they all balanced or is it depend on the situation? How do we navigate that or agility through that?
I'm going to say, well, first of all, I don't like the word balance ever.
Okay. There we go.
Because even with the sword and the scepter, it's not, okay, today it's the sword and tomorrow it's the scepter. It is a blend. I like the word blend. I own a winery, so I like the word blend. It's actually a blend because, being a life learner, and I hope everyone is, as you're watching this, hopefully you're reading a book right now. You're doing something more than, I love listening to podcasts, and you should. I listen to them as well because it is learning, but there's another type of learning that can be done from reading books. It's a sinking in that happens so much from books. And that hopefully you're learning and you're elevating your IQ. The EQ is the balance between those. I don't know how to balance, right? It's a blend. I know, I caught myself. It's the blend between, I need to make a fast move in my business. That's the sword, right? I need to make a fast move. We need to learn AI. We need to start doing something. And the EQ is the filter, the one that says, okay, we will do this, but let's think about the impacts it has on what we're doing, right? And that's where your IQ comes in. So the emotional quotient allows for you to filter the speed at which that excitement and those decision-making opportunities happen. So you're presented with a decision, and if you make it too quick, you wish you didn't, and you know better. That's the IQ. If you have EQ to buffer it, you will think twice about how you're going to approach it. Maybe you do it, but not today. Maybe you do it, but could you carve out a piece for me that could work? Right? Do you see how?
Oh yeah, it's a system, and we're back to systems. And everything you're talking about, there's a military phrase, you probably know it: slow is smooth, smooth is fast. I know SEALs use that, and that's exactly, audience, just remember that. That's what Jen is talking about. And when we first met, I've taken some of that, and it's actually grown my income tremendously. So thank you that's why I love doing podcasts.
Pleasure. Yeah.
I'm always learning. What do you think your future is going to look like in the next 2 to 3 years?
That's a really good question. There's so many moving parts right now. I think that, if you ask me, I own several businesses. So I would say that there will be a point where we are speaking with our children about whether we should sell off our properties or whether they want them to still be included in our trust. Everything's in a trust, but whether they want that in their life, and that we've got asset protection and all that for them, so that they don't have estate planning issues. But do they want the responsibility? And so we all have right now, I'd say get everything, but they're now approaching 40. We're 62. Who knew, right? We're 62 and
Yeah.
we're now saying, okay, is what we laid out what they want? Now I want them to make the decisions and not the executor to make the decisions. So that's going to be something that we'll be talking about over the next couple of years, is sort of letting some of that piece of that go. Brian and I will continue to invest. We continue to invest in things other than real estate as well. Like all the horses I have back here, we have 6 race horses. They're all
Beautiful.
housed at Churchill Downs. And that's what we're just kind of playing with life now. I have another phrase, that people always talk about. I want to leave a legacy. I say, why not live your legacy? Right? Why are you savoring and hoarding and collecting for someone else to enjoy it? Live your legacy today. So that's what we're doing. We're living our legacy. And I see it in the eyes of my children. They're like, you bought another horse. Are you kidding me? Because they're going, oh, that's money flying out the window for me. And it is, but it isn't. I need to be able to enjoy my life too. So I see us doing more of those things, and maybe some calculated risks, maybe some losses there.
Yeah.
Not with just the horses, but some other things. But that's okay. That's okay. We're living our legacy instead of building a legacy or leaving a legacy for someone else to have. They'll still get it.
Yeah, there'll be something there. It's risk reward.
There totally will be something there.
Oh yeah. And I was going to mention legacy, so you beat me to it. I'm glad you did, because that's what your future looks like. Let's end with this great question. I love to ask my guests. I'm excited to hear your answer. So I'm going to come to your city. You're going to tell me your favorite restaurant. I'm going to call and book a table.
Yep.
So I want you to invite, Brian's coming, of course. We always want the husband or wife. I want you to invite 3 people that's been influential in your life over these many years, dead or alive. For me, I want you to tell me what food you're going to be ordering, because you're ordering food for the whole table.
Oh, for the whole table. Well, I'm going to do surf and turf so that everybody's happy.
Beautiful.
I'll make sure I order the surf and turf. I was going to go with fish, but I'll do surf and turf. We'll do surf. I'm going to order surf and turf for everybody there. How many people am I inviting?
You're inviting 3.
Plus you and Brian and I, yeah.
Yep.
Number one is going to be Sharon Lecter. She's a dear friend of mine. And I love being around her because we always create when we're together. And it feels good to be around someone who was in the financial services like me, that we can talk on that level. So number one, it's going to be her. Number 2 is going to be Thomas Jefferson. And I know he's controversial for a lot of different reasons, but he loved architecture. I love his architecture. I live in Virginia. I'm close to Monticello. He has a vineyard. He brought Norton wine or Norton grapes to Virginia, which are indigenous to Virginia now. You can only find them in small parts of Paris, of France, and you can only find them in Virginia now. So I love that he was a forward thinker, an innovator. I love all those pieces. And I just want to have him in that conversation too, because he thinks above, right? He thinks not harder, smarter, higher. Love having him there. And Pope John Paul II would be my next one. Because my dad always taught me, whether you're sitting in front of a pope or you're sitting in front of a beggar, a homeless person, you treat them the same. Always treat them the same, because everyone has gifts and values. So I would just make sure that he's there so that we could make sure that we have a blend of great conversation that's around all pieces of them. And maybe we could convert Thomas Jefferson.
There you go. Always looking a way to get that service in. Love it. Right. Love it. Well, Jen, thank you so much. You're an incredible woman. Thank you for taking the time. I know you're a busy woman. How can people reach out, learn about your workshops and your work?
Yeah. Best place to go is to ladyjenduplessis.com. That just go there and send me a note. If you are interested in mentoring with me, then send an email to mentormejen@gmail.com. And that is specifically for podcast communication. So put the name of this podcast in the subject line, and I will know where it came from. And so I do have that one as a separate email, mentormejen@gmail.com. But that's where you're going to find me, for me to explore what you need and discover what you need. And then I can tell you where the workshops or the coaching or the retreats might be. You will not find that on my website.
Okay, I'm going to motivate your audience. First 5 people that go to the mentor
Me Jen at
Gmail. If you email her, mention doing business with a servant's heart, I'm sending you a gift.
Ooh.
So mention that. 5 people got to mention.
Can I email myself? Because I want the gift.
Yeah, I'm going to send you a gift just because I love you. No, let's do that, because I know what you can do in podcasting. I know what you can do with successful people. I know I'm bringing them a gift. You're bringing them a gift after they get the gift. Kind of weird how that goes, but it's very cool. Yes, you're welcome, Jen. And thank you again. And audience, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If Lady Jen has one, anybody's YouTube channel, because they're gifts.
Yeah.
If you get this sent to you and you listen to this and go, God, Jen can help my friend, and you say her the podcast, she mentioned earlier about learning. They learn about Jen and they sign up for a program and she makes an impact. Did you truly give them a gift?
Oh, yeah.
Jen's telling us we are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's the idea of podcast and YouTube channels and all that type of stuff. If it resonates, share it. So with that being said, me and Jen want to thank everybody for watching or listening to this podcast. We'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.